Gentlemen, we had to wait 5 whole years, but this weekend we have seen the return of fiery but mostly peaceful protests. This time in Los Angeles, it was a fiery but mostly peaceful invasion. We will recap everything here as a busy broadcast week on the Dan O'Donnell Show begins. And we have a number of exclusive stories that we are going to be breaking throughout the program today that illustrate just how Democrats here in Wisconsin are trying to bring similar unrest and violence to this state by importing similar, if not identical, policies to California. Tomorrow night, they are actually organizing a from LA to Milwaukee ice out, quote, emergency protest. It's going to be at Cathedral Square Park, and what's rather remarkable is that a local business is the one promoting this. We will get into that and much, much more here on a jam-packed Monday edition of the program. We have got tickets to Chicago to give away, the band, not the city. I'm going to be performing at the BMO Harris Pavilion during Summerfest later this month. We also have another chance to win a pair of tickets to the iHeartRadio Music Festival, a trip to Las Vegas, and $1,000 in our iHeartRadio Music Festival Win Before You Can Buy contest. That's coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. You want to join DOD? Shoot me a call. Give me a text. AdventNows.com talk and text line 414-799-1130. Reaches toll free 1-800-838-9476. You can email me, dod@iheartmedia.com, at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can watch the show streaming live on our YouTube channel as well. Well, in 2020, ladies and gentlemen, it was a CNN chyron as a reporter stood in front of Kenosha as it went up in flames during the Jacob Blake riots of mid to late August. The chyron read, fiery but mostly peaceful protests, and that came to symbolize how exactly the media covered the left wing's Summer of Love 2020. I think as we have the potential to begin a Summer of Love series of riots 2025, we have the new fiery but mostly peaceful protest. It comes to us from ABC7, the local ABC affiliate in Los Angeles, a reporter whose name I did not catch, covering the riots live and saying, look, you don't understand. These are not violent. They're not out of control. They're just people who want to watch cars burn.
It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
You see, the last thing you want to do is to really escalate things by sending in the National Guard, because right now it's just a group of people. They're having fun. They're celebrating community. They want to be together. Really, it's sort of like a community festival, but instead of fireworks or a drone show, they're watching a car burning. How did that car start on fire? Well, we'll not get into that so much, but instead focus on the sense of community. My favorite part of the weekend of riots in Los Angeles, though, had to be the completely grossly incompetent Mayor Karen Bass on CNN telling the nation that the situation was under control as live video in the split screen panel next to her quite literally shows a car blowing up.
Given the point where it has escalated to, do you think the National Guard is needed now?
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now. Things in LA are calm.
That bang you heard was a car fire blowing up. That pop was a car fire just igniting. Things are totally calm. Thank you very much, Mayor Bass. At least 56 people were arrested. 300 National Guard troops were deployed. And in fact, the director of ICE, Todd Lyons, said in a statement, our brave officers were vastly outnumbered as over 1,000 rioters surrounded and attacked a federal building. It took over 2 hours for the Los Angeles Police Department to respond, despite being called multiple times. The brave men and women of ICE were in Los Angeles arresting criminal illegal aliens, including gang members, drug traffickers, and those with a history of assault, cruelty to children, domestic violence, robbery, and smuggling. But according to the New York Times, the real emergency here was President Trump sending in the National Guard. The editorial board wrote, there was no indication that was needed or wanted in Los Angeles this weekend, where local law enforcement had kept protests over federal immigration raids for the most part under control. The board wrote that sending in the Guard was creating, quote, the very chaos it was purportedly designed to prevent. That chaos was started by LA's insurgent community, the Antifa goons, who apparently had gone underground like hibernating cicadas during the Biden administration, but re-emerged at the first opportunity to recreate that glorious summer of destruction in 2020. They were actually seen chipping off pieces of concrete to hurl at ICE agents, at local police officers, at any law enforcement agent they can find. In fact, there's a $50,000 reward now being offered for the man who was masked, of course, and throwing bricks, throwing pieces of concrete at passing law enforcement vehicles. The National Guard was deployed precisely because of this level of lawlessness. In fact, during a press conference last night, the police chief of Los Angeles admitted that his officers absolutely did not have things under control. But that didn't matter to the media, which didn't describe this as an insurrection as rioters attempted to gain control of a federal building. They didn't call this a riot. They called this a protest.
The LA County Police say that they have it under control.
There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
You know, you've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know.
That was Dana Bash, who took great pains to not compare what happened over the weekend to the 1992 Rodney King riots, primarily because then President George H.W. Bush sent in the National Guard rather famously to get things under control, because there needs to be this narrative that Trump was absolutely behaving like a tyrant in sending in the Guard. This is completely wrong. The National Defense Authorization Act, codified as 10 U.S.C. Section 12406, provides that a president can call in the National Guard to, quote, repel the invasion, suppress the rebellion, or execute those laws related to the healthy function of a society. The law also provides that a president can, in fact, bypass a governor, which is typically legally required to send in federal forces. He can call in the National Guard, quote, when the president determines that it is necessary to augment the active forces for any operational mission, or that the United States, a state, or any other area under the jurisdiction of the United States is threatened by rebellion or other domestic violence. One of the most famous examples of a president calling in the National Guard over the explicit rejection of such deployment by a governor was when President Dwight D. Eisenhower had to call in National Guard troops to forcibly integrate schools. There is precedent, in fact, a long history of precedent of presidents deploying the National Guard. even though a governor, in this case Gavin Newsom, did not want the Guard deployed because apparently he's perfectly fine with Los Angeles burning for the second time in about 7 months. The president is absolutely authorized to do so. And the media is doing its level best to try to convince you that what you saw over the weekend wasn't at all what it looked like. Proving, of course, that they have learned absolutely nothing from 2020 and that their credibility is just as reliable as it was 5 years ago. As I always say, Ronald Reagan very famously said of the Soviets, trust but verify. When it comes to the national news media or any media entity that is not explicitly conservative, distrust but verify. It is sad that we actually have media in this country that is openly propaganda for one political movement. Now, at this point, I'm sure the 7 or 8 liberals who actually listen to this program will say, well, Dan, that's exactly what you do. I am an opinion journalist. I do opinion journalism. I will inject my opinion. In fact, I talk about how conservative I am regularly. I am not pretending to be objective. My goal in doing this program at some level is to try to convince you to think the way that I think. When you have a national press that puts itself out there as being the arbiters of truth, but instead only filter lies through their various platforms, you get what we have right now. A substantial number of people, mostly on the left, who are horribly misinformed about what's actually going on around them. I want you to listen to this montage again. It's about a 30-second montage that we put together here on the Dan O'Donnell Show of the media over the past 3 days, telling you what happened in Los Angeles on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights was not a riot.
The LA County police say that they have it under control.
There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
You know, you've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know.
Yeah, they're just carrying flags, having fun on a beautiful summer's eve, watching cars burn. Now, I want you to compare that to this montage we put together of the national press on January 7th, 2021, the day after the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. It's very subtle, but I want you to see if there's any sort of difference in the tone or tenor of coverage here.
Donald J. Trump called for the insurrection against the United States of America.
You talked about Al-Qaeda. What has he done in terms of incitement, right, that Osama bin Laden didn't do?
Today was terrorism. We call them terrorists.
Terrorists. Domestic terrorists.
Domestic terrorists.
Domestic terrorists. Shame on those senators. They sided with domestic terrorists yesterday, and we won't forget it.
Domestic terrorists. We won't forget the terrorism when Republicans in the U.S. Capitol attacked Capitol police officers. I'm not going to defend that. It was the dictionary definition of a riot. But when you have left-wing illegal aliens and other Antifa-affiliated agitators throwing bricks and rocks and attacking ICE agents, LAPD officers, or other federal troops, to say that this is just people gathering to watch cars burn brings this to a level of propaganda that is almost unimaginable. This, I am fearful, is going to be repeated in Milwaukee. We will get to that coming up next and also outline exactly who it was that ICE was bringing into custody that precipitated all of this.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One is coming back to Las Vegas.
And you can win your way to be there.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com. But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only, or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Presented by Capital One.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Dan O'Donnell here with my good friend Patrick Lynch from the Lynch family of dealerships.
Dan, it's great to be here.
Patrick, I've got to ask, how are tariffs affecting your business?
I get that question every day. I don't think the manufacturers have fully figured out how they're going to handle them, and they haven't passed anything on to us yet.
So what are your customers thinking about all this?
The reality is we're selling a lot of cars right now. I think the reason is that prices are substantially lower than they were 1, 2, or even 3 years ago.
Really?
Let me give you an example of what's happening today with rebates and discounts. A Silverado last year that was over $44K is now listed for $39,495.
Wow.
A Ford F-150 that was $52,500 is now $45,490 with incentives. A Jeep Gladiator that was listed at $60K, we now have advertised for $46,995.
So, Patrick, what you're saying is that contrary to what a lot of people think, it's actually a great time to buy a car. It's always a great time to visit my friends at Lynch. Start your journey at shoplynch.com.
We asked people why they sold their homes to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
I decided that spending the time and money to rehab the unit and sell it through conventional means was not in my best interest. They give you a fair price offer, close quickly, and pay promptly. The process with Grandview was virtually effortless.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
I'm Victor Harding, a true trial attorney at Warshevsky Law. You've heard our advertising for years. While it's been effective introducing Warshevsky to injured people in need of maximum judgments and settlements, most of our clients come from personal referral. Referrals from former clients grateful for the settlement or trial judgment Warshevsky won on their behalf. Thus, they're recommending us to friends and family. Referrals from people in the community, including other lawyers and judges who want to make sure their friends and family are taken care of. Still not sure? Ask around. Warshevsky is referred by Wisconsin law enforcement officers who've seen Warshevsky attorneys in action, desperate to make sure friends and family receive just compensation. Insurance adjusters, often our adversaries, refer their family members hurt in accidents. They know the work we do. They all refer Warshevsky because, big case or small, we can help. If someone you love is injured, please let them know, because at the end of their ordeal, their injury is about the money. Warshevsky.com.
I'm Art Flater of Central Office Systems. Any business can be brought to its knees by thieves and IT hackers.
Chris Rozecki here. The IT guy you've known since high school doesn't have the resources to protect your organization.
Central Office Systems is the small business IT company that understands cyber with resources to back up your network.
Does your team work outside the hours of 8 to 5? Does your IT company do the same without nickel and diming you? Central Office Systems. No nickeling, no diming.
You hear those injured ads? Cameras with good resolution working properly cut down on injuries. Cameras deter thieves. Cameras deter scammers. Cameras that work work.
With Central Office Systems Managed Network Support, a qualified technician grateful for the opportunity to solve your issue answers the phone within 1 minute.
Camera systems, network security, network support.
Have insurance? Will that satisfy your customers while your company's crucial business functions are zero for a week or two? Real Insurance is utilizing an IT service provider who secures your computers from ever going down.
CentralOfficeSystems.com.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
They were just watching cars burn. It's a fun thing to do, says ABC 7 in Los Angeles. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Look, a lot of people who have been criticizing me all weekend on social media for my hardline stance on immigration enforcement don't understand. I have deep compassion for these people who were just having fun watching cars burn. They were having fun throwing rocks at law enforcement officers, all the while waving their native country's flags, most notably Mexico's. I actually think our treatment of these fiery but mostly peaceful invaders is cruel. It's cruel. It is cruel to make them stay in this country when they so desperately long to return to those nations whose flags they're proudly flying, right? They are proudly waving the Mexican flag. They have had no desire to assimilate into this country. It's rather obvious they're trapped here. And I would assume they're trapped here against their will. I mean, if I were, let's say, on the streets of Juarez, Mexico, waving an American flag while attacking the Mexican army, attempting to keep the peace, while I and dozens of my other patriotic countrymen were fighting against them with rocks and bricks and sticks and anything else, you would just assume that I was being held there against my will, and I needed to be sent home as quickly as possible. And that is what I want to see. In fact, I am asking for the Trump administration to show love, to show grace, to show kindness and mercy to all of these people who are taking part in the LA riots, and we're starting to see people gathering in downtown LA again. I want to see the Trump administration do the right thing. Be kind to them, be compassionate to them, and allow all of them to go home. Send every one of them back to the country that they so obviously love more than this one. Send them back to Mexico. Send them back to Honduras. I saw a number of people wearing keffiyehs and waving Palestinian flags. I want them to be immediately sent to Gaza. Send them to the Palestinian territories, especially if they are young feminist women or gay men or transgender protesters. I think they desperately need to go where they will be loved, where they will be respected, and where they will be, how shall I put this, taken care of. It's the only compassionate thing to do. Why is a local pub openly advertising for and promoting LA-style riots here in Milwaukee? The Highbury Milwaukee Sports Bar on South Kinnickinnick Avenue in Milwaukee posted about 7 hours ago an ad for an emergency protest from LA to Milwaukee, ICE out, Tuesday, 6 p.m., Cathedral Square Park. Any particular reason? See, I have actually heard a rumor, ladies and gentlemen. And if you are a member of Antifa, if you are already chipping concrete off of the side of buildings or a road, if you are already getting those George Soros pre-manufactured bricks dropped off in anticipation of tomorrow night, I heard that ICE agents like to hide out at the Highbury, Milwaukee. In fact, I have heard that the Highbury, Milwaukee is the place where every ICE agent is going to be at 6 o'clock. In fact, I have actually heard that they are detaining migrants in the basement of the Highbury, Milwaukee. That is what we're protesting against, right? I mean, the Highbury, Milwaukee would not have any problem with those LA-style emergency protests coming to their backyard, would they? If there is one thing that I know about protesters in Milwaukee over the past several years, they are spectacularly weak. I was expecting all manner of chaos at the Republican National Convention this summer. We got maybe 500 of these idiots walking around for an afternoon. There was even an officer-involved shooting near the RNC, and they couldn't get the band back together to make a big stink out of that. However, depending on what happens tonight, and I am seeing an attempted protest down in, I think it's Tampa, Florida, being countered by a whole lot of MAGA patriots waving American flags. This thing could go one of two ways. I just don't think the left's hearts are in this as much as they were following the death of St. George the Pious, the patron saint of fentanyl abuse 5 years ago. However, anytime you get a bunch of these violent psychopaths all ginned up and ready for action, whatever that action may be, there always is the potential that things spiral out of control very quickly. Make no mistake, we here at the Dan O'Donnell Show will be monitoring the situation tomorrow night. And if anything gets out of control, we will be there to cover it. Much more on this coming up next here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.
I don't have time for a home project this year. I don't want to deal with the home improvement dragging on and on. It doesn't have to. Hi, Colleen with Tri-County Contracting. If a new roof is needed this year, we can make the entire project move quickly and be worry-free. No responsibility will be on your shoulders. We'll take care of everything. Worry-free roofing is an instant roof quote button right on our website, tricountycontracting.wi.com. Name, address, and email, and you will have your price. Worry-free roofing is a fast and easy estimate process. Worry-free roofing is out with that old, tired, leaking roof and in with a new, beautiful dimensional shingle roof. Worry-free roofing is a quick and annoyance-free roof install. No material or dumpster sitting for days or weeks. Most homes are completed in just one day. Worry-free roofing is a lifetime product warranty and a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's also getting free enrollment in the Every Year Inspection Program, where you get a free roof inspection and maintenance every year for 10 years. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting.
All I'm doing is driving to have a meeting with my mom and dad. That's all.
About our finances?
Look, I'm already very late.
Jerry, remember a ceremony a year ago? I dressed in white and you in black?
I know you're my wife, but my mom said to me, you and what's her name?
She doesn't even remember my name.
Should bank at the bank next to my apartment, she said.
These days, the bank for us is First American.
Gotta go or mom's gonna worry.
First American has products that make us smart savers and smart borrowers.
See, mom made tapioca pudding for me.
First American CDs offer some of the highest rates.
But my mom says...
Your wife says we may even need a loan soon. And First American's fixed rate home equity loan is a smart way to borrow.
Yeah, but mom says
we can get the money in.
Okay. Well, check out First American Bank. Now, who can that be? Mom.
When you didn't show up, I got worried. Here's your tapioca. Dad's parking the car. Who's this?
Mom, it's my wife, Carol.
Oh, yeah. We met you at the wedding. Hi, dear.
First American Bank.
Bank, the bank that does more for your money. Visit us online at firstdambank.com or call us at 262-577-2400. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Dave Brownsdorf, president of Flawless Flooring. Realtor.com says depending on location and a few other factors, new hardwood floors add as much as 2.5% to home sale value, even if you plan to sell. Enjoy home more now while increasing your sale price with Flawless's LVP, hardwood, or amazing realistic, super wear-resistant modern laminate plank. Steamy wet dog and litter box aromas bother homeowners and buyers. But you say, Dave, we want the sound deadening and warmth underfoot of carpet? Our Delafield and New Berlin showrooms have countless style and combination flooring choices, including quality luxury carpet lines. Steamy stains and carpet stink, including pet fluids, wipe off Flawless Flooring's luxury vinyl plank and modern laminate plank, zero steam effortlessly. Our employee-only craftsmen meticulously refinish existing hardwood, even perfectly blending additional hardwood with existing. With Flawless's nothing down, zero interest financing, upgrade today and pay over 21 months. Sensory underload, Flawless Flooring. FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Jay here as a very happy customer with my newly restored garage floor from Comer & Cross. I couldn't be happier with the results, and now listener reviews are coming in. Bruce says, all I can say is awesome. What a great job. I looked into other companies, and most were just epoxy jobs by another name. I went with Comer & Cross, and it was a wise choice. Yep, and right now you can get 12 months same as cash or save $500, so there's no need to wait. And no, the Comer & Cross process isn't an epoxy job, and it simply transforms any garage, patio, pool deck, or driveway. They use a 6-stage process that's the proven gold standard because it's done right by specially trained pros and will never stain, yellow, or show tire left. Listeners are also loving that Comer & Cross Techs will move your stuff out of your garage first, then fix the cracks and pitting before applying your hand-picked finish. Right now, 12 months, same as cash, or $500 off during their summer installation sale. Call 262-788-6430. That's 788-6430. Or go to comercross.com.
I'm Kelly Lammert from Clean Living Environments. Virtually everyone who cleans ducts repairs and sells air conditioners, furnaces, water heaters, or whatever. Duct cleaning is secondary. Clean Living Environments, partners for your comfort and health and your economy. Our superior agitation, high power suction gets more of everything you don't want in ducts out than suction alone can. We're happy with a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. We charge less for superior duct cleaning. Once ducts are Clean Living Environments clean, our ducts-only technicians can seal them. Neighboring states give $500 energy bill credits for existing homeowners who have ducts sealed because sealing saves natural gas waste forever, helping heated or cooled air get where it's supposed to be. If you've been quoted for duct cleaning, I personally guarantee Clean Living Environments will get more out of your ducts, charging less. With natural gas prices skyrocketing upward, Clean Living Environments AeroSeal duct cleaning is a prudent, long-term home budget saver. Get more out of your ducts, cleanlivingenvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
Restoring your home or business to its natural beauty is our only business. We are Wisconsin's most trusted carpet cleaner for over 75 years.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
A 4-day winter power outage is what had me buying an awesome Generac generator, and I've been worry-free ever since. Get a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac dealer, Generator Supercenter. Go to GeneratorSupercenterofLakeCountry.com.
Fleet Farm's got a great deal on tires to help you hit the road for less. Now when you buy 3 Cooper tires, get the 4th free. Just get a set of 4 qualifying Cooper tires installed with our Resolute Road Hazard policy, and that 4th tire is on us. Plus, for a limited time, we're also offering $10 off Valvoline full synthetic oil changes. Tires, oil, brakes, batteries. Let Fleet Farm's Auto Center techs take care of your auto needs. All at the best prices guaranteed. Cooper tire offer not available at Hastings.
The LA County Police say that they have it under control.
There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
You know, you've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
LA is home to millions of people. Most of them are having a normal day here on Sunday.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn?
Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, your media telling you that what you clearly saw was not actually what you clearly saw. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Art understands what he saw. He texted in on the AdventNews.com talk and text line. Burn our flag, raise other countries' flags. Time for mass deportations. Not a few. Time to go back wherever they came from. So who was it exactly that ICE was targeting in these deportation raids that led to leftists burning parts of LA? And why is it that they attacked Waymo vehicles, these self-driving taxis? What did poor Waymo, which has now said it is suspending all service in Los Angeles for the time being, what did they do to hurt anybody? Right now, I guarantee you are not going to hear this anywhere else in the rest of the media. Here are just some of the people that ICE took into custody that precipitated the LA Totally Not riots this weekend and what it is they did. Eswin Uriel Castro, a Mexican with convictions for child molestation and being armed with a dangerous weapon. He had previous arrests for robbery and domestic violence and had also been previously deported. Quang Chan Phan, a Vietnamese national, known gang member with a conviction for second-degree murder. He was arrested in 1994 after participating in a cold-blooded murder of two teenagers at a graduation party as part of some gang activity. Rolando Veneracion Enriquez, Filipino national, convictions for rape, assault, burglary, and theft. Cielo Vivar Ubaldo, Mexican national, convictions for sex with a minor, narcotics violations, and hit and run. Cielo has previously been deported as well. Anastasio Enrique Solis Salinas, a Nicaraguan, convictions for domestic violence, hit and run, a previous arrest for willful cruelty to a child. Juan Antonio Flores Felician, a Mexican national, convictions for burglary, possession of stolen property, and receiving stolen property, has been previously deported. Zakhar Aslambekov, a Russian national recently detained for credit card fraud in government-assisted programs, meaning this guy was attempting to defraud welfare programs meant to help America's poor. Miguel Angel Palafox Montes, Mexican national, convictions for grand theft, narcotics violations, and identity theft. Previous arrests for battery and burglary. Rafael Gomez Sanchez, a Mexican national with a conviction for vehicular manslaughter. These are all people ICE detained in those deportation raids that has all of Los Angeles still angry. Trump administration down self-driving Waymo vehicles. Here are some more. Arturo for narcotics and weapons violations. Feliman Alejo Garcia, Mexican national, conviction for driving under the influence. Diego Hernando Quinones Alvarado, Colombian national, a conviction for driving under the influence, recent arrest for burglary. Julian Riveros Cadavid, a Colombian with previous arrests for domestic battery, child endangerment, assault with a deadly weapon, grand theft, and narcotics violations. Jose Cristobal Hernandez Buitron, a Peruvian national with a conviction for robbery. Crisada Tui, an Indonesian national, convictions for narcotics, driving under the influence, and illegal entry. Jordan Mauricio Mesa Esquivel, a Honduran national with previous arrests for distribution of heroin and cocaine and domestic violence. Francisco Sanchez Arguello, a Mexican with previous arrests for grand theft, larceny, and possession of a prohibited weapon. And Russell Gomez Zul, a Mexican national arrested for assaulting a federal officer during the riots. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just a small sample of the illegal immigrants who were arrested that precipitated all of the violent assaults on law enforcement that you saw over the weekend, that the media spent all weekend telling you were not violent riots. Ask yourself, with all of the left-wing politicians in Los Angeles trying to tell you that it was ICE, that it was the National Guard, and now we're hearing that the Marines are being deployed to LA to help keep the peace as well, that they were in the wrong. Most notably, LA Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who called into CNN over the weekend to swear on everything she holds dear that there was nothing violent about what's going on or what happened this weekend.
Well, I was surprised at the way that the police chief was describing all of this. There had been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened. And so he doesn't know what to do, probably, because this is a sanctuary city and the police don't have the authority. All that he's got to do is work with the governor.
You see, there was nobody shot. There was nobody killed. Yeah, sure, there were, a couple of law enforcement officers who were pelted with rocks. And sure, the exact same Congresswoman Maxine Waters referred to that exact same behavior on January 6th as the single worst insurrection or rebellion since the Civil War. But there was nothing violent going on. In fact, there was a local TV station that caught Maxine Waters as she was driving up to try to get into the ICE facility. There was a door slammed in her face. I'm very strongly considering making that ICE employee who slammed the door in Maxine Waters' face my unsung hero of the day coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. She actually said, we need to be here for as long as it takes to stop ICE from arresting those violent sociopaths that you heard me run down a couple of minutes ago.
Our city is being targeted because we're a sanctuary city. Trump hates us. He does not like this city. He's trying to intimidate, and he sent the guns in here on us. The governor didn't know anything about the National Guard coming here. He did it on his own. We can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him. I'm going back out into the communities where ICE was last night to make sure people know that their elected officials are standing with it.
This also isn't the first time that Mad Maxine has called for explicit violent confrontations with the Trump administration. You might remember way back in 2018, she was on the bullhorn, a la Reverend Al Sharpton, saying, we got to get in their faces. When you see someone from the Trump administration at a restaurant, at a gasoline station, she might be the only human being on earth who refers to them as gasoline stations, get in their face, make a scene, let them know that they're not welcome anymore, anywhere. Coincidentally enough, the issue that got Maxine so mad, also illegal immigration. When we come back here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, we name the unhinged liberal of the day. How do you get so unhinged that a national news network actually suspends you? Find out next.
From the Lynch GM Superstore in Burlington Total Traffic Center.
Out in Waukesha, crews with an accident, Highway 164 and Lonsdale Road. 94 eastbound have a stall off to the right shoulder at the stadium interchange. Jammed. 4145 southbound Appleton to Burleigh with road work. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and we sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows and And if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at blindster.com.
Bob here for Redefine Realty, powered by EasyHomeBidder.com.
Brian here. I was in the market to buy my first home. I rushed to see houses the day they went live on MLS. Made offers on 5 houses before finally getting the 6th accepted. I would have increased my bid on all 5 of the other houses I didn't get, but never got the chance.
Brian's story is tragic for Brian, but also for sellers. Brian would have paid more for each of the 5 houses he didn't get. That's 5 sellers guided by traditional MLS agents who sold their home for less than they could have. Redefined Realty, powered by EasyHomeBidder.com's auction platform and MLS, would have earned all 5 Wisconsin area home sellers more money. A lot more money. Selling a fixer-upper, a duplex, a condo, a $400,000 home, or a multi-million-dollar home. When buyers bid, sellers win. In fact, when buyers bid, buyers win too. Heck, everybody wins at Redefined Realty and EasyHomeBidder.com. Buyers win, sellers win. Obvious, but revolutionary. When buyers win, sellers win. It's real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition into adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
So this job makes me feel very confident. My goal is always to grow myself and learn new things.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
Hi, I'm Willa Voss. I'm 8 years old. I'm on Congo Tree Service. Yes, they did name me after a tree. Our family loves this country and the freedom it provides. Every morning, I look forward to starting the school day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please say it along with me, even if you just say it in your mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. The American flag and mentioning this commercial when the cut-and-go remote control automobile mounted articulated crane grapple saw operators are putting your dead trees on the ground or removing large branches that grew over something important. An all-American Tons of Trees movement, cutandgotrees.com. That's CUTNGOTREES.com.
You've heard the phrase bigger is better. Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. As applied to family law firms, this phrase can be misleading. Yes, it's true that more resources, proven processes, a wealth of shared experience and expertise, these are all good things. But it's also true that being local has its advantages for a law firm. Familiarity with judges, with local experts, opposing counsel, even the local rules and practices. So if you're a guy confronting a family law matter, you should be thinking right now, I need all the above. I need big and local. In that case, call Cordell & Cordell, a national law firm comprised of local offices with local attorneys who practice in local courts. Remember, for over 35 years, we've been the partner that you can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Milwaukee attorneys, a partner men can count on. 111 East Kilbourne Avenue, Suite 1650, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53202. Online at CordellCordell.com.
If your home needs new roofing, siding, windows, or doors, then call my friends at Weather Pro Exteriors. You see, big remodeling projects like these require a reliable contractor, and homeowners across Wisconsin trust Weather Pro Exteriors as they only use the highest quality building materials and certified professional installers. Call today and receive $1,000 off a full roof replacement plus a $200 quick trip gift card. Scheduled today at weatherproexteriors.com.
Catering to all who appreciate quality installation, a great value, and the finest windows and doors. Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door. Find us at lisbonstorm.com.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Coming up after the top of the hour news, about 10 minutes from now, the Wisconsin Democratic Party wants way more illegal immigration in this state. They are not content with the number of illegals we have here. I can prove it. Their state convention is this weekend, and they are trying to pass a couple of resolutions. Now, this would be a part of the party platform. This is not, I have been having a field day with all of the crazy stuff that they've been introducing as proposed legislation in the state legislature. This would be a part of their party's platform. It has no legal impact, but it does give you an idea of where it is that this state party stands. Then, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, you are not going to want to miss this. What counties that you would probably least expect are attempting to turn themselves into sanctuary counties in this state? I have intercepted a couple of emails that I'll bet these district attorneys, as well as the State Department of Justice and one of AG Josh Call's right-hand men, wishes I didn't. We are going to break this story wide open coming up at 5 o'clock. Also, daily Trump date. As you could imagine, a whole lot to get to on the LA riots and the potential for things to pop off tomorrow night. I don't want to overreact to this, because it seems like ever since 2020, every time the left-wing crazies in Milwaukee have tried to get the band back together, it has failed miserably. Whenever there's a protest at Red Arrow Park, which is where they typically would start because that was where Dontre Hamilton was shot and killed by a Milwaukee police officer who was completely and totally justified in doing so. This one is going to start at Cathedral Square Park. They've fizzled out. And, of course, the Milwaukee Police Department potentially responding to actually my report that they are circulating an invitation on this. This is how they referred to this. For situational awareness, a First Amendment protected demonstration from LA to Milwaukee, ICE out, is planned for Tuesday, June 10th at 6 o'clock p.m. at Cathedral Square. No further information available. I will tell you this, and this was a tad unnerving. This was posted shortly after I posted about this potential riot. Is the Milwaukee Police Department just sort of following me for all their tips? You would think they'd have better info than the radio guy, but hey, I guess we do break a lot of stories on this show, and that's proof.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany.
All white people are racist.
Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is ABC News correspondent Terry Moran, who got so unhinged in a social media rant against President Trump and top advisor Stephen Miller that ABC actually suspended him. Moran wrote on X, "The thing about Stephen Miller is not that he is the brains behind Trumpism. Yes, he is one of the people who conceptualizes the impulse of the Trumpist movement and translate them into policy, but that's not what's interesting about Miller. It's not his brains, it's bile. Miller is a man who is richly endowed with the capacity for hatred. He's a world-class hater. You can see this just by looking at him, because you can see that his hatreds are his spiritual nourishment. He eats his hate. Trump is a world-class hater, but his hatred is only a means to an end, and that end is his own glorification. That's his spiritual nourishment." Terry Moran, who can tell how hateful people are just by looking at them. Can you imagine what this guy doesn't say in public? If that's what he's posting on X, he was so out of pocket, as the kids say, that even ABC News said, yeah, we should probably suspend old Nutso Harry for this one. Terry Moran, your unhinged liberal of the day. Daily Trump date coming up next, and then our exclusive reporting on just how much more illegal immigration the Democratic Party of Wisconsin wants in this state. Stay tuned.
Listen to Benjamin Yount, weekday mornings 9 to 11 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee. And make WISN the number one preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Michaels. A man is in jail today after an hours-long standoff at a bar yesterday in Cedarburg. Fox 6's Carl Deffenbaugh.
The Ozaukee County Sheriff's Office told us a 50-year-old man drove to the Hamilton at Cedar Creek. He was reportedly intoxicated and threatening family members at his home nearby and had at least one weapon. People were forced to evacuate from the pub and the surrounding streets were shut down. After about 2.5 hours, the man finally surrendered.
And former President Joe Biden's physician is facing now even more questions.
House Oversight Chairman James Comer subpoenaed Dr. Kevin O'Connor for a formal deposition to take place on June 27th after he says O'Connor refused to cooperate with a voluntary interview.
The 4 o'clock business report brought to you by the Good Feed store. The Dow down today 1 point. The NASDAQ gained 62 while the S&P rose 5. Checking the Holiday Automotive Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard. The Packers informed cornerback Jair Alexander today that he will be released. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Becoming partly cloudy tonight, just a slight chance for an evening rain shower. Temperatures dropping through the 60s. Partly sunny on Tuesday, breezy and warmer with a high of 75. Some wildfire smoke is possible. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Looking for affordable blinds, shades, or shutters for your home? Don't hire an expensive pro. Check out Blindster.com, where we offer custom-made window coverings at guaranteed low prices with a team of pros ready to help you every step of the way. Blindster.com.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
I'm looking for the fastest and easiest way to sell my home, and I keep hearing one name over and over. So I asked people, why Grandview Homes instead of a real estate agent?
I decided that spending the time and money to rehab the unit and sell it through conventional means was not in my best interest.
Right, you were anxious to sell your place quickly, so no time for tours, listings, or any of that. What's the process with Grandview like?
The process with Grandview was virtually effortless. They sent someone out the same day. They give you a fair price offer, close quickly, and pay promptly.
Sounds like you'd recommend them.
I would recommend this company to anyone in a position of having to move quickly and with no hassle.
No hassle?
No hassle.
Whether you have a hard-to-sell home, want a stress-free sale, or simply need to sell your home fast, Grandview Homes is the name you know and the name you can trust. We buy every home as is, and you'll get a fair cash offer in just hours. Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
With warmer weather arriving, we all know our energy bills will be spiking right along with the temperatures. Your money will be flying out of your home faster than that expensive cold air you paid for. Hi, it's Jay Weber from my friends at Semperfi Roofing with a tip on how to beat the heat. The 2 main areas that a home loses cool air are from your roof and your windows, and those are the 2 areas that Semperfi specializes in. They offer a free 21-point roof and window inspection to find out if they're causing your AC unit to work harder, which can double or even triple your energy bills. Yes, it's free, and there will be no high-pressure sales tactics afterward. Usually, an inexpensive repair can fix any problems they may find, but if it's time for a new roof, you can get $500 off of your project, plus no interest and no payment financing until 2027. So set up your free, no-obligation 21-point roof and window inspection today. 262-600-2910. That's 600-2910, or online at SemperfiRoofing.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
Do you ever
written financial plan? Hi, I'm Aaron Kowal of Kowal Investment Group. We have recently joined management services to help, including your investments, taxes, estate plan, and more. At Creative Planning, we understand life is busy, and sometimes important things like retirement planning can fall to the wayside. So I'm here to remind you to take time to plan. A 1-hour complimentary consultation with our fiduciary advisors will help you get started on the path to your dream retirement. We will review your current financial situation, your goals and needs, and help you plan for life's what-ifs. Don't delay planning for your future any longer. And even if you already have a plan, a second opinion from our advisors can help determine if there are adjustments to make. Kowal Investment Group is now Creative Planning. Visit creativeplanning.com to get started. That's creativeplanning.com.
Your home cleaning friend, it's Edelman again.
A fiery but mostly peaceful invasion of this country. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. I'm still laughing at ABC7, the ABC affiliate in LA, saying they were just having fun watching cars burn. Come on, Trump. You don't need to send in the troops. We're having fun. It's a bonding activity as they're flying their Mexican flags. Well, in case you didn't hear, ladies and gentlemen, in the first hour of the Dan O'Donnell Show, I think I surprised some people by saying the Trump administration does need to do the right thing by these people who are flying the American flag. They could be seen burning an American flag during these riots. You see, they just wanted to get together and have fun watching an American flag burn. I actually think the Trump administration needs to give these people exactly what they want. I can only interpret that flying a foreign flag while violently demonstrating against the policies of the country you find yourself in means that you are trapped here against your will and that you are desperate to want to go home. If you are flying the American flag while throwing bricks at American, or if you are flying the Mexican flag while throwing bricks at American law enforcement officers and soldiers, I can only presume that you are as desperate as it gets to get back to your homeland. That's why I am calling on the Trump administration to do the only humane, kind, decent thing. After all, we all need to coexist. I have seen a number of those bumper stickers on left-wingers' vehicles, and I'm actually joining them. We need to coexist by sending these people back to the countries whose flags they are so proudly flying immediately. In fact, I think if you took up a collection from the American people in the form of legislation, I don't know, big, beautiful bill, perhaps, they would foot the cost. We need to be compassionate to our new neighbors. We need to give them what they so obviously want. They might be too scared to say it. They might be, because America is such a racist and xenophobic place, they might feel compelled to say, look, we want to stay. We want to stay, but their actions prove otherwise. They are held here against their will, and we must send them back immediately. We are giving away tickets to see Chicago at the BMO Harris Pavilion during Summerfest. Whenever you hear Chicago played as bumper music on today's program, be the correct caller. I'm not going to tell you what caller it is, and you will win tickets to that show. Don't worry, producer Eric. It's not going to be caller number 147. It'll be caller 17, caller 18. election, but we don't want people getting any sort of advantage. As soon as they hear the opening notes to a song, they start dialing. No, I will tell you what caller you need to be. Then coming up at about 5:07, 5:08, we will have your next chance to win a trip for two to Las Vegas plus $1,000 in the iHeartRadio Music Festival Win Before You Can Buy contest. Two more chances to win today and tomorrow before this contest wraps up. A busy day at the Trump White House. Let's recap it. It's your Daily Trump Date.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning.
Well, a whole lot of winning for the Trump administration.
We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
President Trump arrived back at the White House today, and as Marine One dropped him off on the South Lawn, he addressed what happened in Los Angeles over the weekend, saying every single one of the people who took part in the riots are violent insurrectionists.
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
Trump was also asked whether Tom Homan should arrest Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, for, in his words, aiding and abetting, facilitating, inciting those riots.
He's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it?
I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job. Look. I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
President Trump was, in fact, out on the lawn inspecting the progress of his flagpole. In case you couldn't hear, Newsom was basically daring Homan to come arrest him, a la Governor Tony Evers, a story that we broke right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show, that DOA, the Department of Administration memo that Evers put out back in late April, instructing all state employees to not cooperate and even obstruct, I should say, ICE investigations. Homan said, watch what happens. When he was asked about arresting Evers, obviously no arrest ever came, but Newsom, in one of his press gaggles over the weekend while discussing the Totally Not riots, basically dared Homan to arrest him. Homan did not take the bait, but did outline on Fox today exactly who it was that ICE did take into custody.
I took a lot of bad people off the street that day. We arrested a sexual predator, arrested gang members, arrested somebody that had an armed robbery conviction. So we made LA safer. The men and women at ICE, the men and women of the Border Patrol made LA safer that day. But you're not hearing any of this. All you hear is a rhetoric about ICE being racist, about ICE being Nazis and terrorists, and Governor Newsom feeds that. Just like Hakeem Jeffrey feeds it, that he's going to unmask ICE agents. And the members of Congress who keep feeding this rhetoric, they're the ones that are causing this riot because they don't listen to the truth about what the men and women at ICE are doing. We're keeping our promise to American people to make these streets safe again. And that's exactly what we're going to do, and we're not going to stop doing it.
That is the message coming from the Trump administration, that they will not be intimidated by violent insurrectionists. They will not be stopped by street thugs or Democrat politicians who enable them. They will continue to take the worst of the worst of the worst off the streets and get them out of this country. President Trump attending a roundtable event discussing the One Big Beautiful Bill and introducing a concept in the bill that really hasn't gotten a whole lot of attention. Trump accounts for children born this year through the end of 2029. Here he is explaining how the Trump accounts would work.
Here's how the accounts work. For every U.S. citizen born after December 31st, 2024, before January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred account that will track the overall stock market. In other words, it'll be pegged to an index that we'll pick. Right, Michael? We'll pick it. We'll pick a good one. Maybe you should be the index. I'd like to have that. These kids would be very wealthy if that were the case. That would be a good idea. I think we might do that, Michael Dell. These accounts will be private property controlled by the child's guardians, and in many cases, those guardians will be the parents. We think probably the parents will be the guardians. They'll be open for additional private contributions each year from family, friends, parents, employers, churches, private foundations, and more. This is a pro-family initiative that will help millions of Americans harness the strength of our economy to lift up the next generation, and they'll really be getting a big jump on life, especially if we get a little bit lucky with some of the numbers and the economies into the future.
The estimated cost would be about $36 billion, but the idea here with $5,000 annual maximum contributions, tax deferred, that we would not need Social Security for children born within this 5-year stretch. This is a pilot program, meaning it could be extended into the future, and it does get you thinking just what it is that you would be making if the money that is taken from your paycheck for Social Security contributions was instead invested on your behalf. Trust me, don't do the math on that. You'll just get very, very angry. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your look back at what happened during the Trump White House today in your daily Trump date. The American people very decidedly behind President Trump on these immigration actions, whether it's deportation, whether it's shutting down the southern border, whether it's the travel ban, which went into effect today, President Trump effectively shutting off all migration and all visits, all visas, any sort of visa coming from 12 different countries, severe restrictions on 7 additional countries, a lot of them in Africa, a lot of them in the Middle East, a lot of them hotbeds of terrorism. And the issue is these countries simply do not cooperate with the U.S. government in vetting their citizens. Or in the case of a number of nations in Africa, they just don't have the infrastructure or ability to know who it is and have a background check or at least something equivalent to that readily available for their citizens. So the United States simply cannot justify the risk of potentially letting somebody in who would do Americans harm. Whatever policy it is on immigration, as even CNN's polling guy, Harry Enton, was forced to admit today, the American people are with him. This is by far President Trump's strongest issue.
You know, if we just take a look at the baseline numbers here, this is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket. Compare now versus 8 years ago during Trump's first term. Look at this. In his first term, Trump was way, way, way underwater at minus 21 points. But look at this. He's up over 20 points. Now in the aggregate, he is in positive territory at plus 1 point on his net approval rating. Some other polls even have it a little bit higher than that. There is no issue on which Trump is doing so much better than he was in his first term, more than the issue of immigration. No wonder the Times has written up the way that he is. Trump is begging for a fight on this because he knows what he's doing so far is working with the American electorate.
22 points on immigration compared to 2017. That's because the American people have seen the disastrous impact of President Biden's open border policy. Illegal immigration was a problem, but it was something of an abstract problem for a lot of Americans who didn't live anywhere near the southern border until the sudden and overwhelming influx of illegals over the past 4 years. The Federation for Immigration Reform did some rough calculations, but these are the best numbers we have on just how much, in terms of raw dollars, illegal immigration is costing the American taxpayer. At the start of 2023, the most recent year for which complete data is available, the net cost of illegal immigration for the United States, federal, state, local levels, at least $150 billion. You subtract the tax revenue paid by illegal aliens, $32 billion, from the gross negative economic impact, $182 billion, you arrive at about $150 billion. The negative economic impact would be the cost in social services, the cost in educating the children of illegal immigrants, the cost of policing, the cost of incarcerating illegal immigrants. In 2017, just 6 years earlier, the estimated net cost of illegal immigration, $116 billion. In just 5 years, the cost to Americans skyrocketed by about $35 billion. It's my strong presumption that when the latest FAIR report is released later this year, it's going to show that that number skyrocketed even more. Illegal immigration costs each American taxpayer $1,156 per year. Each illegal alien or U.S.-born child of an illegal alien costs the U.S. taxpayer $8,776 each year. Illegal alien tax payments cover only around 1/6 of the costs that they create at all levels of government in this country. In fact, a huge percentage of illegal aliens who work in the underground economy frequently avoid paying any income taxes at all. The only tax they pay is in sales tax. In fact, many illegal aliens, as disgusting as this sounds, actually receive a net cash profit through refundable tax credit programs. All of that coming from the Federation for Immigration Reform, or FAIR. Coming up after this break, trust me, folks, you are not going to want to go anywhere. The Democratic Party of Wisconsin is voting this week at its convention on 2 resolutions indicating just how much they want to increase illegal immigration in this state. It's a Dan O'Donnell Show exclusive, and it's coming up right when the show returns in just a second.
From the Lynch Chevrolet of Kenosha Total Traffic Center.
Southbound on 43 going to be jammed. Fond du Lac down to the Marquette where you got a crash on the right shoulder. Delays continue on to 4394 to the KK River Bridge. 94 westbound stop and go from the Marquette to Hawley. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Need new blinds? At Blindster.com, we offer guaranteed low prices, guaranteed satisfaction, free samples, and free shipping. At Blindster, we take the fear out of ordering custom blinds, shades, and shutters so you can do it yourself and save big. Blindster.com.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One, is coming back to Las Vegas.
and you can win your way to be there.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com. But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only, or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
An auction to sell your house? And it includes a 2.99% full service MLS listing? Come on. Put simply, the absolute best way to sell your home is a Redefined Realty MLS listing enhanced by the EasyHomeBidder.com auction bidding platform. You get max profits and minimal contingencies. Buyers and sellers both love winning at auction. Traditional real estate agents put houses on MLS, then talk sellers into accepting offers. It's always been done that way. While buyers can still make a traditional offer, auctions powered by EasyHomeBidder.com allow every interested party to compete for your home through MLS and at auction on your terms. Sellers never lose a penny again. Dorothy's Ruby Slippers would not have sold for $28 million without an auction. Similarly, the maximum price of your home will only be achieved at auction. Traditional real estate agents sell ordinary MLS services. Redefines mentors of winning, enhance the home selling process combining auction and MLS. RedefinedRealty.com. Buyers win, sellers win. Real estate's future is now. Real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
Honey,
I want to look at organizing our house better. We need to make more space to get organized. I can't seem to find anything around here. Nothing is organized, and the garage is an absolute mess. You know, the neighbors just had tailored closets come in, and they loved the results. We should give them a call.
I agree. The kids seem to leave everything everywhere because there's no defined organized space. That sounds like a great plan. You get the closets redone and organized. I get my garage organized with an awesome garage floor.
Deal.
Hi, I'm Kevin. Almost 15 years ago, I had the tailored closet featuring Premier Garage do my epoxy garage floor, garage cabinets, and my closets in my home. I was so impressed with the results. We bought the company and added it to our existing growing business. Let us help you. Give us a 875-3010. That's 262-875-3010. Or visit us online at premiergarage.com. That's premiergarage.com.
I'm Patty from Prospect Hill.
Prospect Hill is a destination garden center. People from across southeastern Wisconsin come for our superior variety of Wisconsin-grown, climate-acclimated perennials.
Mike's right. Think about it. If you invest in perennial happiness with flowers, shrubs, and trees, don't you want the best, most beautiful, healthy plants and nursery stock?
Unlike hardware stores or chain garden centers, Prospect Hill grows plants. Grown right here in New Berlin, our perennials are hardier and healthier.
Because we are the grower, there is no middleman driving up the price. Our superior plants cost less at Prospect Hill. Our trees, shrubs, and perennial flowers bring a lifetime of happiness.
Even the soil we use, a proprietary mix of beneficial ingredients and mycorrhizae, help perennials start stronger, larger, and prettier in this climate.
Your yard will be a slice of paradise. Make every normal day abnormally beautiful with Prospect Hill, National Avenue and Racine Avenue in New Berlin. Bloomsite.com.
If your home needs new roofing, siding, windows, or doors, then call my friends at Weather Pro Exteriors. You see, big remodeling projects like these require a reliable contractor, and homeowners across Wisconsin trust Weather Pro Exteriors as they only use the highest quality building materials and certified professional installers. Call today and receive $1,000 off a full roof replacement plus a $200 Quick Trip gift card. Scheduled today at weatherproexteriors.com.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules. All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management, know the difference. Aspire to the perfect blend of information and enlightenment. Stay informed all day, every day on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Classical conservatism and contemporary style. It's an unholy mix we like to call the Dan O'Donnell Show. Welcome back to it. 3 to 6 each afternoon. Nothing like live local radio to bring you stories like this that the rest of the media just won't. Wisconsin Democrats will vote at this weekend's state convention on 2 resolutions, one supporting all illegal aliens being allowed to work in the agriculture industry, in direct violation of federal law, and another supporting making every single city and town in Wisconsin a sanctuary city. Resolution 25 AGE 03. Legalize and streamline work permits for migrant and immigrant agricultural workers to support Wisconsin agricultural workforce needs. Whereas immigrant and migrant workers perform 70% plus of the labor on Wisconsin dairy farms, whereas loss of immigrant and migrant worker labor puts Wisconsin's dairy industry at high risk of collapse, and whereas new strict federal immigration policies threaten the availability of immigrant and migrant workers for Wisconsin dairy farms, be it therefore resolved, the Democratic Party of Wisconsin supports policy ensuring an adequate agricultural workforce through legislative action to create work permits and streamline legal processes for migrant and immigrant agricultural workers. You might remember one of our absolute favorite sound bites, Governor Evers saying, how the hell can you still call yourself the dairy state if there's no one there to milk the cows? Well, now the Democratic Party of Wisconsin wants to put this in their actual party platform. They want to ensure that we have as many illegal immigrants milking the cows as possible. You might remember, of course, that this is also the same party that simply can't stop saying that we need illegal immigrants to do all the jobs that Americans won't do. You remember that, of course. Here's Governor Evers. This is a serious quote from like January 3rd, right before the new legislative session.
How in the hell would we continue to be the dairy state when there's nobody there to milk the cows and do the other important work?
This is also just part and parcel of a long-term Democrat philosophy that wants illegal immigrant labor as a permanent servant class. Don't believe me? They can't stop saying it.
I wish, if people, when they hear immigration, I think a lot of people, the first thing they think of is the border. The first thing we should think of is workforce.
Immigrants pick the food we eat, rebuild our communities after climate disasters, help construct our infrastructure, power our small business economy, clean our homes, and look after the most precious in our families, our children and our elders.
We do not eat without immigrant labor.
That's right.
You do not have houses without immigrant labor.
That's right.
You do not have highways or bridges without immigrant labor.
That's right.
Our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
If you turn them away, if all of them were turned away and you have no immigration, then we would have no food on our plates. We would have nobody taking care of the building, the construction of our homes. We would have nobody cleaning up in the hospitals.
Just last week, Vermont Congresswoman Becca Balint even went so far as to say, and I apologize in advance, that this Democrat is so nuts that I have to say what I am about to say. She believes that we need illegals to wipe our rear ends.
We have to come to a place in Congress where it is no longer a political issue, but we see it as an existential issue for the country. If we don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here, I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses because we don't have enough people.
So, pro tip, ladies and gentlemen. Do not under any circumstances shake hands with Becca Balint, because especially if it's late morning, she's had a couple cups of coffee, you just don't know if there are sufficient illegal immigrants around her to help with basic functions. So we have the one resolution that the Democrats are going to vote for. They're going to vote overwhelmingly to add this to their party platform. They want to directly violate federal law. It is illegal to employ illegal aliens. People who are here on work visas, green cards, those are not illegal aliens. What Democrats are talking about here is to directly violate federal law and through state law legalize illegals and allow them to work. Now, the second resolution is, quote, restoring humanity in immigration policy. It is making every single state, every single city, I should say, in this state, every village, every town, every hamlet, a sanctuary Hamlet. Whereas the detention and deportation or imprisonment of humans without due process is inhumane and unjust and is a harbinger of fascism. Whereas we are a nation of immigrants with indigenous accepted. Whereas our social and economic welfare depends and thrives on our diverse and talented immigrants, and whereas sanctuary states and cities are being threatened with stoppage of funds, therefore resolved, the Democratic Party of Wisconsin supports the people, cities, and states who will not aid or abet any person or agency that acts against immigrants without lawful and humane due process. What that means, if you need me to interpret radical lefty, is that they want every person to rise up against ICE, who they believe is not acting with due process of law. Spoiler, they absolutely are. They want every city to oppose ICE action. Ask Hannah Dugan how that is working out for her. Incidentally, Dan Bice over at the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel with a report today. Hannah Dugan's Legal Defense Fund has raised $137,000. Who donated to it? Well, they won't tell you. Not until 2026, because they know doggone well that it is a who's who of radical left-wingers from all across the country. She does not want, under any circumstances, you to know all the Soros-affiliated people who are paying her freight. And it's a hefty freight. Like really, really hefty. It's a lot of tonnage in that freight. So what we are reporting exclusively is that the Democratic Party of Wisconsin is adding to its platform just complete support for illegal aliens and a complete rejection of any effort to enforce any sort of check, any sort of lawful authority over those people who are in this country illegally. You heard me run down the list, and for those wondering where I got that list of all of the truly horrid criminal illegals who were swept up in that ICE detention raid that precipitated the LA Totally Not riots this weekend, DHS put out the list. They got pictures. They're all tatted up. They've all got gang tats all over their bodies. They're all awful people who have no business being in this country. Democrats in Wisconsin said, we want all of those terrible people to be protected. We want to keep them. If you live in inner city Milwaukee, and that's where a whole lot of illegal immigrants live, they want the most dangerous among them near your kids. That's what they're saying. They want to make it easier for them to stay here, to get jobs here, to continue to cost the American taxpayer hundreds of billions of dollars every single year. As it happens, I tend to believe that the true cost of illegal immigration is actually much higher than what the Federation for Immigration Reform, or FAIR, estimates. We were going off of their stats from 2023. I don't think they have fully gotten the true impact of the, 15 million, 16 million illegals allowed into this country in just 4 years? How much are we paying to put these people in hotels? How much are we paying in the increased police patrols of these suddenly overcrowded neighborhoods where people are just being dropped in, the tremendous amount of culture clash that's going on? And let's not even get started with the idea that the people who are coming into this country, unlike every other generation of immigrants, and look, I've been very open about my family, they're relatively recent immigrants to this country. coming in the last wave of Italian immigration at the early part of the 1900s. Irish side, late 1800s. They assimilated very, very quickly into American culture. One of the biggest problems that we have is there is no attempt at assimilation. And we saw that in the riots over the weekend with everybody waving their flags. I was honestly floored. I went to go see a couple of years ago, I believe this was pre-COVID, maybe 2019, the final of the CONCACAF Gold Cup. It's an international soccer competition. CONCACAF is the region of the world that the U.S. plays in. And of course, it's always U.S.-Mexico in the finals of these. It was at Soldier Field in Chicago. 75% of the crowd, easy, was rooting for Mexico, was waving Mexican flags, was jubilant as could be after a 1-0 victory for the Mexican national team. I was floored. Right now, after the Biden era illegal immigration, you play that same game, probably 85% Mexican fans. Waving a foreign country's flag while you burn the flag of the country you're in speaks volumes about what it is that this generation and the past several generations of immigrants, largely from Mexico, largely from Central America, now expanding into South America, the islands, other parts of the world that Biden just said, come on in, boys, to there's no effort. There is no attempt at cultural assimilation. It is little Mexicos popping up in cities all across the country, little Nicaraguas. Previous generations, primarily from Europe, but also from Asia, from India, the Indians have done an incredible job of assimilating into American culture. They keep their traditions. I always use the example of the wonderful family, my best friend growing up, his parents, Indian immigrants. They had a shrine to Ganesh in their closet. They turned their closet into a shrine. Do you know where the son and daughters went to school? St. Mary's Hales Corners. You know why? Because Danny and Mikey, my brother, Rohit's best friends, went there. They said, okay, they got to deal with this. They said, okay, he can learn about Jesus and all this stuff. They celebrated Christmas. They celebrated Easter. They celebrated every American holiday. Why? Because these are American holidays, because this is our culture now. They still cooked Indian dishes. I believe, don't quote me on this, I'm going to get in trouble. I believe they did have an arranged marriage because that tradition is well alive in Indian American culture for, I think, 2 of the 3 children. I think one of them, you can have veto power as the kid and say, I'm going to marry. You can keep those traditions alive while still loving deeply. The Chinese, Japanese nationals, too, just love deeply this country. They're proud to be Americans. From all over the world, you've got the issue with the places that see this as reclaiming land that is theirs. Mexicans, in large measure, never got over the fact that we whooped the crap out of them in the Mexican-American War. Remember the Alamo, folks? Texas ain't never coming back. If we wanted to just deploy all of the private gun owners in the state of Texas, we would have Cancun as our 51st state, all right? We would just have all of Playa del Carmen as a private beach resort. They never got over that. So it's this idea of reconquista, like the Spanish following the Moorish invasions. They want to retake, they even are open about it, make America Mexico again. There's no love, there's no abiding respect. And please don't, the Mexican Americans who went through the process, who got legalized, they love America more than, you know what they really hate? The other Central Americans who are coming in and doing it the wrong way and giving all of them a bad name. That's why Donald Trump is so remarkably popular amongst Hispanics, because the Hispanic Americans understand just how terrible illegal immigration is for the nation that they love, that we all love so much. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show. More coming up in just a sec.
Conservative thought, not just talk.
You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Outbound 4145 at Silver Spring, right shoulder blocked with an accident. Already heavy from Appleton down to Burleigh with ongoing construction. 43 southbound at the Marquette, you got a crash. It's off to the right shoulder. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and we sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows, and if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
The Mark Belling Late Afternoon Show is now the Mark Belling Podcast, and it's always on 24/7. I'm on the iHeart app and all the other big podcast platforms. Standing up for Milwaukee and the world, the Mark Belling Podcast.
The Mark Belling Podcast is presented by Uline Shipping and Industrial Supplies. Ship same day for fast delivery. Visit uline.com. Also supported by Charisma Customs. You can get the Mark Belling Podcast right now at iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you in Waukesha, Milwaukee, Muskego, Brookfield, Heartland, Cedarburg, and their Waukesha Fleet and Specialty location. If you have a business with a multi-vehicle fleet, Mander is the place to go because their team understands you can't have a vehicle out of service for a while, so they work quickly and efficiently to get you back on the road and serving your customers as fast as possible through expedited fleet repairs. Mander has been serving their customers and their community for well over 20 years, and they know that the key is expert workmanship and fast turnaround times combined with the sort of customer service that you'll only find at a family-owned local business like Mander. Start your repair today at mandercollision.com and find out for yourself why Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Badger Care, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A DSNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana DSNP, you get $175 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at GetHumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care PPO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with Wisconsin Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
We're the Libby family.
At Do-It-Yourself Bathroom Center near State Fair on 62nd and Greenfield.
For over 41 years, we've helped Wisconsin folks create beautiful, affordable, and durable bathrooms.
You'll get our expert guidance and long-lasting quality products.
And nobody beats our prices.
I did it myself at Do-It-Yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kelm. Join Dan Small and me for Outdoors Radio Saturday mornings at 6 on News Talk 1130 WISN. Brought to you by Hupy and Abraham, Wisconsin's largest personal injury law firm. 800-800-5678 or HUPY.com.
We use powerful truck-mounted carpet cleaning units designed to remove even the toughest dirt, and certified cleaning technicians who understand the definition of clean.
Edelman Carpet, Furniture, and Drapery Cleaning.
It's Edelman again. Edelman.
I can see the breath inside my house. This is how horror movies start.
First, the cold seeps in. Next thing you know, you're spooning your cat for warmth.
I tried it. He bit me.
Jason, come on, man. You need a new furnace. Don't you know that Capital is giving away the furnace when you get a new AC?
Giving as in free?
Yeah, but call Capital before this turns into the horror version of Frozen. Call Capital today and get a free furnace with a new AC.
Service you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at tricountycontractingwi.com.
Tune in every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. as Ellen Becker Investment Group highlights local people and organizations who are using their time and their talents to give back to make a difference in our community. Milwaukee's philanthropic community. Visit ellenbecker.com to learn more.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
June is champion season, and Fox Sports Radio is where you come to talk about it. NBA Finals, OKC, and Indiana are going off.
Tyrese Halliburton is here to stay.
Stanley Cup Panthers and Oilers are bringing the heat.
Can the Panthers make it back-to-back?
MLB is getting straight spicy.
Ohtani, he's better than Babe Ruth.
To the ice, to the diamond. Get the takes, guests, and stay locked in. Search Fox Sports Radio and make it your next preset on the free iHeartRadio app.
No radio handy?
No problem. Listen to WISN's live audio stream 24/7 via the web. Just click on the Listen Online tab at newstalk1130.com. Talk radio. Redefined. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Okay, I don't want to have to issue a promo ban here because I want to be a good team player. I do. But did I just hear us air a promo for our sister station 97.3 The Game in which Colin Cowherd said Shohei Ohtani is better than Babe Ruth? Did I literally just hear that? Make no mistake, Ohtani is probably the best player in Major League Baseball in decades. Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs. Ohtani may well get there. Babe Ruth was a Hall of Famer if you just take his pitching stats. If he never gets traded to the New York Yankees, he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. Ohtani probably will be done pitching altogether in the next couple of years. They just aren't going to be able to risk Tommy John surgery, losing him as a hitter because he's just so good. And it's a different game, okay? There's no comparing eras. But to say that Shohei Ohtani, I get it. I get what sports talk radio is. And I actually like Colin Cowherd quite a bit. But that is quite possibly the dumbest take I have heard on sports talk radio in like 15 minutes or so. And I did sports talk radio. I've got a soft spot in my heart. That's how I came up. Did weekend sports talk radio. I was the Brewers post-game host. If, by the way, my voice sounds a little scratchy, I was at the Saturday night Brewers game and yelled myself hoarse, I think, at the walk-off first pitch home run. That was a lot of fun. A wonderful time at the Brewers game. It was DARE night, the DARE to keep kids off of drugs. So all the kids who graduated DARE, they got free tickets. And it was a lot of fun. It was a great time at the ballpark on Saturday night, but I am continuing to pay for it 2 days later as my voice is not fully recovered. Unsung Hero of the Day brought to you today, as it is every day, by Blue Line Cleaning Services. Residential and commercial cleaning done by professionals. The unsung heroes of the day today are the ICE agents in Los Angeles who were cleaning the streets of some of the worst people in the city, in the state, and the country. And what they got for it was to be bombarded with rocks, with bottles, makeshift projectiles. They are quite literally making our streets safer all across this great land, and they are the least respected law enforcement agents in the nation. Well, they shouldn't be. They should actually be among the most respected because they are doing the job that a lot of people don't want to do because of the abuse constantly heaped upon them. So while we are focusing in particular on the ICE agents in Los Angeles, today's unsung hero is more generally ICE agents everywhere, who I hope all know that they will forever have a friend, supporter, and admirer in me. They are your unsung heroes of the day.
From the place you want to go, Lynch McGuanago Traffic Center.
Crash cleanup continues in Waukesha, Highway 164 at Lonsdale. You have all southbound lanes closed there now. Southbound on the Rock Freeway after Layton, you got a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and we sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows, and if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
Attorney Tom Grieve here for Divergent Family Law. Making only left turns navigating roads is far more difficult. Eating only dessert leads to malnourishment. Doing one gender divorce forgoes expertise. Divergent Family Law is better at both sides of divorce due to complex, vast experience on both sides of divorce. Gentlemen, if you believe women are inferior, Divergent Family Law is the wrong divorce firm for you. If, however, you believe your wife is a cunning, manipulative, superior woman who will do anything to destroy your future path, Divergent Family Law is the right firm for you. Ladies, if your husband hires a misogynist divorce firm, Divergent attorneys will block any gender-based outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, Divergent Family Law attorneys know Wisconsin family law. We know the proclivities of members of the judiciary, and so we can predict up front how your divorce decree will read before it is written, regardless of your spouse's attorney. Divergent Family Law, separate and equal or better. DivergentFamilyLaw.com.
This is not the season to be stuck on the couch. This is the time to be living your life and to be living pain-free. And if you are still in pain, please check this out. Hey, I'm Benjamin Yant, and I want to talk to you once again about QC Kinetics. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. You can live a healthier life, free of harmful meds. That is the entire mission over at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics regenerative cell therapies restore the tissues in your achy joints, whether that's your knees, your back, your hip, or your shoulder. Biologic growth factors with robust healing properties are carefully and strategically placed into your joints. The consultation's free. Call QC Kinetics now. See what it can do for you. 414-285-3474. It's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
This summer, are you ready to climb to the top? Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Every sip gets you closer to the summit. Now through August 17th, play each day for free in the Quick Rewards app and score bonus plays with every eligible item you grab. Like an ice cold Pepsi, bold Mountain Dew, hydrating Gatorade or Propel, sparkling bubbler, smooth Starbucks, refreshing Pure Leaf, or the high voltage taste of Rockstar. Grab one of those with hot food and earn 2 bonus plays. Yeah, and here's where it gets more intense. Every week, someone's cashing in. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, stacking higher and higher till one player reaches the top, scoring the ultimate prize, $250,000 cash money. Open your Quick Rewards app and get climbing for a chance to win, because this summer, the view from the top is worth every play. Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com. Infinity.com/sweepstakes.
Josh from Infinity here. The exterior remodeling industry is notorious for wild price disparities and hidden costs. Infinity has revolutionized the exterior remodeling experience. Our custom-built app is your window into our world of clear, accurate pricing.
MJ here. No more guesswork. No more unpleasant surprises. Every detail, all materials are clear for you to see. Absolute pricing transparency makes Infinity the most trusted roofing and exterior remodeling company in the Midwest.
We built Infinity on a foundation of integrity. More than installing roofs, siding, and windows, Infinity installs peace of mind, building lifelong relationships with our customers.
Infinity's proprietary app is an extension of our commitment, providing exact line item pricing, something unheard of in roofing and exterior remodeling.
Infinity's unmatched buying power saves you money. We pay less, you pay less. Infinity provides multiple budget options real time. Everything is at your fingertips, including financing options before we leave your home.
Warranted, guaranteed quality. Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Hear the difference. The worldwide resources of Fox News and Milwaukee's home for factual, fair, and balanced coverage. News Talk 1130, WISN. A place where freedom of speech and freedom of thought live on. Stay informed all day, every day on News Talk 1130 WISN. Listen to Clay and Buck weekdays 11 to 2 on News Talk 1130 WISN Milwaukee, and make WISN the #1 preset on your car radio and on the new iHeart app. Free never sounded so good.
Good afternoon, I'm Dave Michaels. Nearly 200 or 300 people gathered near 13th and Forest Home last night on the city of Milwaukee South Side and shut down 2 or 3 city blocks. Nobody was hurt, nor were there any arrests. The city says they want to crack down on street takeovers by proposing a $500 fine for anyone who's involved. Fox 6's Stephanie Quirk.
Officials say these street takeovers are reckless driving meetups, often fueled by social media. We're told that a decision on the ordinance will be made by the end of this month.
JS Online is reporting that Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan has received almost $140,000 for her defense fund, but won't name who those donors are until next year. President Trump's latest travel ban has gone into effect.
The travel ban is exactly what should be doing. In the countries that are being targeted on this, do not do proper vetting before the issue visas come to this country. This is about protecting America.
Border czar Tom Homan appeared on Fox News this morning. Checking the Holiday Automotive Fond du Lac Sports Scoreboard, the Brewers open up a series against the Braves tonight at American Family Field. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Dave Michaels. On Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Here's the latest forecast presented by AdventKnows.com from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Becoming partly cloudy tonight, just a slight chance for an evening rain shower. Temperatures dropping through the 60s. Partly sunny on Tuesday, breezy and warmer with a high of 75. Some wildfire smoke is possible. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Need new blinds? At Blindster.com, we offer guaranteed low prices, guaranteed satisfaction, free samples, and free shipping. At Blindster, we take the fear out of ordering custom blinds, shades, and shutters so you can do it yourself and save big. Blindster.com.
Bob built a brand over the same 20 years iNet has. I bought multiple properties over those years. Bob gets real estate like I never will.
In real estate, every brokerage does the same thing. MLS. Adding auction bidding to MLS, I knew if iNet branded it, told our story, home sellers would understand and accept this real estate revolutionizing platform.
You can be the best in your industry like Redefined Realty is. Even revolutionize your industry like Redefined Realty has with auction. Yet, it's your story that sells.
You can't tell your story as well as iNet Creative Genius will tell your story.
Real estate for winners is exactly what Redefined Realty and auction has always been.
Steven knocked our brand and marketing out of the park.
Selling a home? If you don't use Redefine's MLS and auction platform, you'll leave closing with less money than you would have. Tragic and that simple.
Websites, branding, design, video, and radio. iNet is improving marketing for winners.
INetJustWeb.com.
CreativeGeniusMarketing.com.
Real estate for winners. RedefinedRealty.com.
I'm Ryan Harrison, owner of Ryan Waterproofing. Does it seem like storms travel hundreds of miles out of their way against prevailing winds to keep your basement damp, wet, moldy, even flooded? It isn't going to resolve itself. Freezing and thawing over time expands damage to walls, foundations, and even your family's health. That's not purified water seeping or running through your basement walls. It's filth, carrying every sort of bacteria, fungus, and mold. Only Ryan Waterproofing has an estimator project coordinator you'll love. Ashley's expert, honest, and will make you comfortable with the solutions proposed, and she'll be with you every step of the project. Doesn't matter how bad the cracks or sag in your basement walls are. Ryan has affordable sealant and water abatement solutions for most basements with convenient financing options, including 18 months, no interest financing. You actually might enjoy walking in the rain when it's not in your basement. Contact Ryan today because praying for drought is overrated. Ryan Waterproofing. Call Ryan.com. That's call RION.com. CallRyan.com.
Learn the secrets to create your own ultimate backyard retreat with Brett Ochtenhagen of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Tune in every Saturday at 1 p.m. on News Talk 1130 WISN. Learn more at seasonalservices.com.
Marketing in modern business means finding and serving your customers 24/7 wherever they are. WISN broadcasts are a powerful platform, but there's so much more. WISN's online digital tools are completely customizable, so you can reach your ideal customer through the iHeart app or by using software that actually finds your customers at a specific location or event. These tools are precise, efficient, measurable marketing weapons that you need to use. Combine the power and clout of WISN's broadcast and digital platforms right now. Go to newstalk1130.com, keyword digital.
Kowal Investment Group, now Creative Planning, is a registered investment advisor. Now for your business report from Creative Planning. For informational purposes only, past performance is not indicative of future results.
Good afternoon. I'm certified financial planner professional Aaron Spitzner with your closing business report. The major averages were mixed today as officials from the U.S. and China held trade talks in London, renewing investor hopes that a tariff deal will be reached. And shares of Topgolf Callaway brands soared over 15% today after their corporate director purchased about $2.5 million worth of shares last week. These transactions are often seen as a sign of leadership's belief in the company's strategic plan and potential for future growth. Shares are down about 50% in the last 12 months. On the day, the Dow was down 1, the S&P 500 was up 5, and the NASDAQ was up 61 points. From the Kowal Investment Group, now Creative Planning, I'm Aaron Spitzner.
You heard the market report from Mr. Spitzner if you were listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show on our flagship station, News Talk 1130 WISN in beautiful Milwaukee. Couldn't help but thinking about what would have happened if instead of listening to a pro like him or our good friend Dave Spano of Annex Wealth Management. By the way, he is going to join us tomorrow, and we're going to talk about whatever it is that Dave thinks we should be talking about at the intersection of politics and economics. By the way, we also do a podcast. He was otherwise occupied today golfing. No, I have no idea. He actually he had some meeting he couldn't get out of and asked if we could just do it tomorrow, where I'm totally going to give him crap that he was absolutely on the golf course today. If you, instead of listening to someone like Dave Spano, or even some idiot like me, I may know politics, but I get my investment advice from Dave and his incredible team. By the way, annexwealth.com is where you should go. Or my brother is a very, very talented investor as well. He spotted Tesla years and years and years and years ago. NVIDIA, Palantir. He's had some misses, but the hits are more than enough. If you had, instead of, and his big thing, anybody will tell, don't invest your politics. Just don't. It's dumb. If you think the market is going to collapse the second Joe Biden gets in office, you're going to lose money, because markets do respond to presidential policy, but they're far more resilient. In any event, if you had listened to the Jim Cramers of the world who were convinced 2 days after Liberation Day back in April, it was going to be Black Monday, you missed out on one of the I think it was the biggest May in the history of the S&P 500 in terms of percentage gain. Sell in May and go away has never been more apt than it was in this May. I would not do that, by the way. I think there's still more money to be made. But again, do not listen to my advice. I don't even know if I am legally required to give a disclaimer. I'm just saying I listen to people. Look, folks, there is an old saying in the law that a lawyer who represents himself has a fool for a client. I rely on people who do this stuff far more intently than I do. But it is telling just how wrong the people who are telling you Trump was going to destroy the stock market, the Trump tariffs were going to launch us into a second Great Depression. Here we are almost 2 months later, and the markets are up. People who invested, me, on that Black Monday made a lot of money because everything was on sale, because the media was trying to talk us into another recession, and it didn't happen. Here's what I can talk you into: $1,000 plus a trip for two to Las Vegas for our iHeartRadio Music Festival. It's our win before you can buy contest. What's at stake right now? Trip for two to beautiful Las Vegas to see both nights of our iHeartRadio Music Festival, September 19th and 20th. You get round trip airfare, hotel, tickets to the show, plus $1,000 gift card. Just text the word WIN, WIN, to 200-200. You've got until 55 past the hour to text the word WIN to 200-200. If you enter the contest, you will get a confirmation text and information. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. Just text the keyword WIN to 200-200 to be automatically entered for your chance to win in the iHeartRadio Music Festival Win Before You Can Buy contest, which wraps up tomorrow. This is just a real brief contest. Have no fear. If the past is any guide, I think every year I have been at this company, and that's like 12 or 13 years, we have done the Sizzlin' Summer Cash Contest starting right after the 4th of July, which leads us right into the iHeartRadio Music Festival Flyaway Contest. I don't know if you're going to get the Las Vegas trip plus $1,000. That's usually the variable. Some years we have not given away the $1,000 gift card. You can always tell. It's like the performance of the iHeartMedia stock. If revenues are up, we're giving away the $1,000 plus the trip to Las Vegas. If revenues are down in the second quarter, you're not getting the no, I have no idea. I'm just joking about that. And then we go right into the Fall Fortune Cash Contest, Cold Hard Cash Contest. It's like you can tell the seasons by when it is that iHeartMedia is giving away money for listening to shows like this. While I joke that we need to bribe you to listen, I know the real reason that you listen to this show is to win Chicago tickets, which are coming up later this hour. When you hear Chicago as bumper music, be the correct caller, and you'll see Chicago at Summerfest at the BMO Harris Pavilion. No, I know you listen because we break stories that you just aren't going to hear anywhere else. And here's a big one. I have been made aware of an email chain involving the district attorneys of Rusk and Polk counties. These are small counties in far northwestern Wisconsin, very close to the Wisconsin-Minnesota border. They are in the Minneapolis media market. And this, if you've ever wondered why far northwestern Wisconsin is so blue They typically are far more Democrat-leaning than the rest of rural Wisconsin up north, the Tom Tiffany congressional district. That's why, because they're getting the Minneapolis TV market. And as left-wing as Milwaukee and Madison media is, Minneapolis is real left-wing. Both of these men are either Republicans or independents. Both on Friday are in an email chain with one of the top assistants to Attorney General Josh Kaul, both saying they do not want to cooperate with ICE. In effect, making their counties sanctuary counties without ever having the people who would have voted for them be any the wiser. Incidentally, Polk County is a Trump plus 31 county. Rusk, Trump won with, I believe, 69 or 70% of the vote. These are overwhelmingly Republican counties. However, because a lot of Republicans, especially in these far-flung counties in rural Wisconsin, do not go into the law, and those that do don't want to be small county district attorneys, Governor Evers has appointed an inordinate number of them, and they just sail to re-election without any actual conservative challenge. It's a real problem. 40% of all DAs in the state of Wisconsin, there are 72 district attorneys for 72 counties in Wisconsin, and well over 40% of the counties that Trump won in 2024 are represented by an Evers appointee, a Democrat-leaning independent, or just a fake Republican who pretends to be a conservative every few years so he can get reelected, and then runs the district attorney's office like John Chisholm. On Friday, Jeffrey Kemp, the Polk County District Attorney, sent an email to Eric Bashirian, who is one of the top officials in the Josh Kaul Attorney General's office, as well as the Rusk County DA, Jack Cabranes. Kemp writes, "So I have a question to all of you. Considering the way these things have been going nationally in what looks like a violation of due process, I will confess I am not the smartest person in the room, but the way ICE is doing this, masked, no hearings, no warrants, I'm assuming I could be wrong. I've not had this in my county yet. Are we obligated to assist in this? Yours truly, Jeffrey L. Kemp, Polk County District Attorney." In response to this, Jack Cabranes responds to Kemp, as well as the representative from the AG's office, "You are not alone. The way this is going down is wrong and will eventually lead to violence. ICE will get no cooperation from my office so long as they continue these abusive tactics." Now, Cabranes is an Evers appointee. It is my understanding he ran as a Republican. Trump won Rusk, remember, 69 to 70% of the vote. The Polk DA, Jeffrey Kemp, was a Republican who recently went independent. He is also, as I understand it, about as soft gets. Now, the issue here is these two discussing, after having been safely elected in far red counties with the far left assistant to Josh Kaul, the radical left-wing attorney general, who, if Evers does not run for governor, folks, Kaul will run. And although it's weird, everyone in the Democrat Party, in the power structure in this state, seems to hate Josh Kaul with a burning passion. Kaul is going to run. I can't figure it out. He's about as left of the left of the left as it gets. Democratic Party of Wisconsin hates his guts. The rank and file despise. I have no idea if it's just because he is a quasi law enforcement figure, but they do not like them some Josh Kaul. What these two are doing is to effectively usurp from the county executive, from anyone who might have the sheriff, who might have a say in this sort of policy shift, just by virtue of their power. And they're trying to keep this from their voters, clearly. They're trying to keep this from their constituents, saying, well, because of my personal political beliefs, I'm not going to cooperate with ICE. Hate to break it to you, fellas. Federal law says you have to cooperate with ICE. Sanctuary cities are absolutely violations of state law. Sanctuary counties are violations of state law. Refusing to assist in federal investigations and doing so in a way that actively hampers said investigations is a violation of state law and federal law. This is nothing more than obstruction. And frankly, it's a conspiracy to commit obstruction. So the neighboring county DAs, they went, all right, just so we're clear, we're going to try to do our best to make northwestern Wisconsin a sanctuary. Did Rusk or Polk vote for that? Seems to me 70% of the people in those counties, by voting for the guy who is most visibly pro-illegal immigration enforcement that this country perhaps has ever had, said, we want the exact opposite. This is a massive problem. And it's sort of reflective of the larger national problem of radicalized left-wingers in the legal profession usurping whatever authority they possibly can from any other branch of government and seizing it for themselves. It's known as the tyranny of the judiciary. Well, what we have here is the tyranny of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of the lowest possible rung on the executive branch of government food chain, the DA of Rusk County, thinking that he can be a card-carrying member of the resistance and just sort of decide that federal law doesn't apply to him. And they are openly admitting it. I think that ICE is mean. They're wearing masks. Oh, no. I do find it hilariously ironic that these are the same jackasses who forced all of us to wear masks until about mid-2023, now upset that the law enforcement agents who are being actively doxxed try to hide their identity. Folks, there's a reason I don't tell you where I live. Well, I trust each and every one of you, members of Dan Nation. I'll try my best not to tell you where my kids go to school, where sometimes I slip, and that's where I get an angry text from my wife. Shut up, you idiot. But it's because we have faced similar things. Nothing to the extent of it. We've had our address posted. We've had creepy pictures of the outside of our house taken and sent to me. I've had explicit death threats. All within the last few months. Welcome to Afternoon Drive, Dan. Thank you, lefties. In order to avoid, they're wearing masks so that you left-wing radical goons can't attack them or their families. That's why they do it. They don't have warrants. What lowest tier law school did these small town buffoons graduate from where they don't recognize an ICE warrant is a warrant? Do you have any idea? If you want to complain to Bill Clinton, complain to the Democrat Senate that signed on to the 1996 Immigration Act that dramatically increased the authority to have expedited removal. The executive branch of this country has remarkable power because of that law and because of the power that is inherently vested in the president and the secretary of state to enforce this nation's borders. You think for every illegal immigrant in this country, they need to have a hearing? They need to go before the Rusk County judge? The local judge, pull him out of the little tavern. We've got an illegal immigrant gangbanger who needs to have due process. Due process is you are adjudicated to have entered this country illegally, committed crimes, most likely have been deported before, and the executive branch generates a deportation order for you. That is your due process. That is how due process works. We're just going to pretend that due process is whatever Jeffrey L. Kemp, Polk County District Attorney says it is? Come on. And to do this in two of the most Republican counties, the most Trump-leaning counties of the state. This is the big problem. You know what? I need to take a break because as a sort of member of the legal community, I don't practice law. I never did. I was doing this for my entire adult life. Very happy with my decision. But as someone who is trained as a lawyer, this sort of behavior is frankly nauseating. And it only goes one way. You don't have Republican DAs saying, well, golly, Joe Biden is doing something I disagree with. I'm just going to stop It doesn't work like that. Republicans are the only ones in this country right now who have any sort of respect for the rule of law. Sadly, that's just a fact. The legal community has been so radicalized that I dare say there is no more dangerous threat to the constitutional order of governance in the United States of America than in people like the Polk and Rusk County District Attorneys. I'll sort of elaborate on that when we come back next.
From the Lynch Truck Center in Waterford, Total Traffic Center.
In Waukesha, southbound 164 shut down at Lonsdale Road with ongoing crash cleanup. Jammed 4145 southbound Appleton to Burleigh and 43 northbound from the Marquette up to Kiev. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Club Car Wash and ClubCarWash.com.
Tired of feeling alone in your job search? With just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. That connection is Express Employment Professionals. Don't go it alone. Visit ExpressPros.com to find the location nearest you. That's ExpressPros.com.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One is coming back to Las Vegas.
And you can win your way to be there.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com. But starting Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only, or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Presented by Capital One.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Imagine your home totally organized. At Closets by Design, we specialize in providing affordable, custom-built storage solutions with built-ins and beyond, from garages to new home offices. Our experienced designers work within your budget to design a solution fit perfectly to your needs. Get 40% off plus an additional 15% with 18-month financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get started. Let's get organized together.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell for Mander Collision and Glass, now with 7 locations to serve you across the greater Milwaukee area. Start your repair right now at mandercollision.com. Mander truly is the best decision after a collision.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys at the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
I'm Total Health's Jay Johnson. The Falls and New Berlin. Additives, chemicals, and toxins in your diet can miswire the way your genes express themselves. Food is critical for health. Increased energy, better sleep, reversing chronic disease. A healthier, happier, pain-free you is simple. Schedule your free Total Health consult. Holistic health coaches will guide you to a healthier, happier, truly you. Seed oils, the #1 source of calories in American diets, were developed as fuel in industrial lubricants. Seed oils cause dozens of chronic illnesses. Big Healthcare solution to nutritional-related illness is their same solution to all health-related problems. Drugs that also alter the way your genes express themselves, leaving root causes making you increasingly sick over time. What they never tell is eliminate seed oils from your diet and cutting back on sugar will immediately improve your health. It's true. Total Health finds root causes of sickness, including nutritional deficiencies, then helps you, the whole complete you, achieve wellness. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com. That's TotalHealthInc.com.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
All programs on News Talk 1130 WISN are broadcast through the NX Wealth Management Studios. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Yet another Dan O'Donnell Show exclusive. District Attorney Jeffrey Kemp, the Polk County District Attorney, on Friday sent an email to the what I would assume to be his liaison in the Attorney General's office, as well as the Rusk County District Attorney. I have a question. Considering the way things have been going on nationally and what looks like a violation of due process, I will confess I am not the smartest person in the room. No, he is not. But the way ICE is doing this, masked, no hearings, no warrants, I'm assuming, I could be wrong. I've not had this in my county yet. Are we obligated to assist in this? John Cabranes responds, you are not, he is the Rusk County District Attorney. You are not alone. The way this is going down is wrong and will eventually lead to violence. ICE will get no cooperation from my office so long as they continue these abusive tactics. Those two district attorneys are talking about making their counties sanctuary counties by refusing to cooperate with any valid law enforcement from the federal government because they think that ICE is mean. To answer Jeffrey Kemp, who fully admits he's not the smartest person in the room, to answer his question, there are valid warrants, Jeffrey. Hannah Dugan found that out the very hard way. ICE presents a warrant. If there is a valid deportation order, due process has been served. You may not like federal law, but you have to abide by it. I received some information during the commercial break. Guess what type of attorney Jack Cabranes is, or was before he got the Rusk County DA gig? He was an immigration lawyer, so go figure. Clearly, he knows that this stuff is all valid. He just doesn't like it. And in fact, this is the exact same attitude that Hannah Dugan had when she willfully violated federal law. Is it not? Seriously. By the way, Kemp followed up his first email by saying, because frankly, my gut tells me this is wrong. A district attorney's gut does not negate federal law. This is the problem with the legal community writ large. And it only goes one way. It is only happening with leftists. Well, my gut says this is wrong. Hannah Dugan's gut. I'm so tempted to make a joke there, but I will not. Hannah Dugan's gut told her to let an illegal immigrant violent criminal escape her courtroom. That gut got her federally charged. Now, what Cabranes and Kemp are talking about is not criminal, but it is scandalous. They represent counties that are overwhelmingly Republican. Yet they're talking about the most left-wing policy. And of course, they're not publicly admitting this. Just an email with the Attorney General's office and each other. This, by the way, was Friday. This email exchange was Friday. The voting public, unfortunately, doesn't have much of a say. And this is a real problem in the legal community as well. 94% of district attorneys' races are unopposed. Nobody runs against DAs. Because in most of these counties, nobody wants the job. Every so often, I'll get an email from the Evers administration. Evers administration taking applications for a Langlade County district attorney. Not a whole lot to do, not a lot of crime. I actually have no idea. Trempealeau County or but they have difficulty filling those positions. Both Kemp, the Polk County DA, and Cabranes, the Rusk County DA, ran unopposed. These are left-wingers. One of them is a pretend Republican. The other one, he's an independent. Well, okay. What do they have to worry about, though? They could run as a socialist next time. Chances are they're not going to be opposed. This is what we're talking about when we talk about every single race needs to have a Republican, a conservative in it. This is why I have been so critical of the Republican Party of Wisconsin. And every single one of my critiques has been out of love. Because if we have people like this representing the most conservative Republican parts of the state, what are we even doing as a state Republican Party? What is the Rusk County Republican Party? What is the Polk County Republican Party doing? Now, it's probably just a handful of boomers who meet in the local tavern every couple of weeks. And there's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of these counties just do not have much in the way of population at all. But this is where a truly statewide effort to get conservatives to represent conservatives is needed. This is also why I have been so vocal in my call for years now for every single county, for this to be centralized by the Republican Party of Wisconsin, the WIS-RED Initiative, Waukesha County's Republican Party, and its chairman, Terry Dietrich, do a remarkable job at not only raising awareness of who the conservatives, who the Republicans are in nonpartisan races, and DAs run in the fall. So those are partisan races. But they also provide support, materials, training for candidates. You want to get Republicans elected. You want to get conservatives into office. The 1848 Project, Rebecca Clayfish's group. This is another one. These are the organizations that need to be funded, that need to be adopted statewide, that need to be allowed to continue to do the grassroots work so that we can have in all four corners of this state, which is a very conservative state, leadership that reflects the electorate. And when you have leadership that reflects the electorate, it trickles up. This isn't rocket science. It's politics. You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We will be right back after this conservative thought, not just talk.
Classical conservatism, contemporary style. The Dan O'Donnell Show is coming right back.
Now, here's traffic from Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Call the Tri-City Total Traffic Tip Line at 414-944-5111.
Eastbound on 94 going to be slow from the Zoo interchange to Hawley, westbound from the Marquette to the stadium, and again from Highway 100 over to Sunny Slow. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest total traffic.
This report is sponsored by Club Car Wash and ClubCarWash.com.
$10 a month gets you the cleanest car in Sussex. Club Car Wash is open on Executive Drive across from Meyer on Lisbon. And right now, you can get an unlimited membership for $10 a month for 3 months. For more details, visit in-store or online at ClubCarWash.com.
Join the club.
For many of us, the most important part of our routine between 6 and 9 weekday mornings is to listen to every minute of the Jay Weber Show on WISN. Sadly, sometimes less important elements of our lives get in the way, such as work, children, and bathing. Don't despair. The Jay Weber Show podcast is available 24/7 to fill any gaps in your hunger for entertainment. Just go to newstalk1130.com, click the podcast tab, and enjoy Jay Weber on demand.
Hey, it's Dan, and if you've got a home project that you've been putting off for a while, now is the time to get it done with my friends at Weather Pro Exteriors. They are family owned and operated. They're certified licensed installers. And if there's a leak in your roof or ceiling, if you're just kind of noticing your roof is looking a bit weathered, it's missing shingles, something like that, give them a call. Are your windows warm to the touch? Do you notice a draft around closed windows? Are windows or doors difficult to open or close? Yep, you got to call Weather Pro Exteriors. Does your siding need to be replaced? Are your gutters in need of replacement? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to head to weatherproexteriors.com to take advantage of the quality craftsmanship that is guaranteed with every single thing that they do. And there are also great deals going on right now. Head to weatherproexteriors.com today.
I'm Larry Brinkman, president of Dornbrook Construction. Dornbrook Construction has installed concrete in every industrial and commercial setting from the Milwaukee Airport to Campbell's Soup. From big shots in manufacturing and industry, locally as well as the up-and-coming businesses in southeastern Wisconsin. Big business chooses Dornbrook because they know Dornbrook is ACI certified, fully licensed, insured, and bonded. And they know for 25 years, Dornbrook stands behind every square foot of concrete we install. Little businesses choose Dornbrook for all those reasons, and also because they can afford to choose Dornbrook. Dornbrook is industry's choice for commercial concrete because because we do perfect business efficiency-minded preparation and installation on every job. We know you aren't closing your business to have concrete work done. 25 years of experience ensures your loading dock or dumpster pad or machine base or huge flat concrete job isn't our first go-round. Standing behind the concrete Wisconsin businesses and residents stand on, Dornbrook Construction, dornbrookconstruction.com, 414-333-0642.
With warmer weather arriving, we all know our energy bills will be spiking right along with the temperatures. Your money will be flying out of your home faster than that expensive cold air you paid for. Hi, it's Jay Weber from my friends at Semperfi Roofing with a tip on how to beat the heat. The two main areas that a home loses cool air are from your roof and your windows, and those are the two areas that Semperfi specializes in. They offer a free 21-point roof and window inspection to find out if they're causing your AC unit to work harder, which can double or even triple your energy bills. Yes, it's free, and there will be no high-pressure sales tactics afterward. Usually, an inexpensive repair can fix any problems they may find, but if it's time for a new roof, you can get $500 off of your project, plus no interest and no payment financing until 2027. So set up your free, no-obligation 21-point roof and window inspection today. 262-600-2910. That's 600-2910. Or online at semperfiroofing.com.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semperfi.
I'm Kelly Lammert, owner of Clean Living Environments.
I'm Creative Genius. Since building 2 rooms farthest from the furnace barely had air coming from registers, and 18 years of crud accumulated in ducts.
Our superior agitation, high-powered suction cleaning systems got more ladybugs, dust, even original construction debris out of Steve's ducts than suction alone could.
Clean Living Environments AeroSeal duct sealing got more wasted energy off our energy bill as natural gas costs skyrocket.
Duct specialists block the vents and pressurized ducts, exposing leakage equivalent to a 90 square inch hole. After sealing, leakage is reduced to a 3-inch hole, a 94% reduction.
Our home has noticeably less dust. Air isn't getting sucked in through the basement and attic exposed duct pipe. Most incredibly, we get more air to rooms farthest from the furnace. Way more. See a video of this job at cleanlivingenvironments.com.
I personally guarantee the best price.
Yep.
Get more out of your ducts, cleanlivingenvironments.com. That's cleanlivingenvironments.com.
I'm Dan Voss from Cut and Go. Ugly and depressing and trees killed off by emerald ash, oak wilt, and Dutch elm disease are dangerous for friends and loved ones, even a potential liability. Slowly rotting, left-standing hardwood trees can weigh tens of thousands of pounds. Even seemingly smaller branches can weigh tens, even hundreds of pounds. With Cut and Go, there is no reason to risk injury or property damage. Live trees in precarious placement for an arborist to remove over homes, garages, commercial buildings, luxury landscapes are easily and safely laid on the ground by Cut and Go's NCCER crane-operated certified remote control automobile mounted articulating crane grapple saw operators. You can save big money and stock up on firewood by having Cut and Go put your trees on the ground for you to clean up or have a bonfire or split firewood. Or we can take it all with us when we leave. A Tons of Trees movement. Cut and Go trees.com. That's CUTNGO trees.com. Once again, that's cutandgotrees.com.
Let Tri-County Contracting take care of the outside of your home so you don't have to. Worry-free roofing, siding, and windows from Tri-County Contracting. Call us at 262-679-6100 or visit us online at tricountycontractingwi.com.
Your favorite artists
In your library.
your favorite songs
In your playlist.
but your favorite morning show
He make me laugh every day. Or your favorite team in action.
Oh my goodness, he got it!
or your live local news, traffic, and weather.
Implications from coast to coast.
Yep, there's an app for all that too.
iHeartRadio.
We're not just streaming music, we're streaming moments.
Everyone wants to be here.
Join the millions of Americans.
And add us to your entertainment lineup now. Download the #1 app for radio.
The free iHeartRadio app.
This, of course, is Chicago's 25 or 6-4 for my money, their best song. Come on, pump that up.
Searching for something to say.
That, of course, means here on the Dan O'Donnell Show that we are giving away tickets to Chicago's performance at the BMO Harris Pavilion at Summerfest on America's 249th birthday, July 4th at Summerfest. Caller number, let's go 249 because it's the two. No, I'm kidding. Producer Eric is looking at the phones and saying, dear God, I'm going to be here till 8 p.m. We will take caller number 25 right now at 414-799-1130. That's the adventknows.com talk and text line. You can also reach us 1-800-838-9476. Caller number 25 wins a pair of tickets to Chicago. Actually, that's appropriate. This song is 25 or 6 to 4. You cannot take caller 6. You cannot take caller 4. You will take caller number 25. You win a pair of tickets to go see Chicago. Best of luck to you. As I was telling Eric during a break, I never really got into Chicago. And that's I always, appreciated their musicianship, but just it was one of those bands, and I was huge into a lot of their contemporaries. Coming up in Chicago had like 5 or 6 different eras. There was the early era that was more hard rocking, and then there was the sort of Peter Cetera era where they really specialized in ballads during the 80s. And I was big into Styx. I love Cheap Trick. Bands that are sort of consider Boston is another one that I love. I just, for whatever reason, never got into Chicago. And then my father-in-law took the entire family, my wife, I think the 2 older kids, or maybe it was just the adults. I don't know. It was years ago at Summerfest, actually at the BMO Harris Pavilion. And I know there were only 2 or 3 members of the original Hedge. I was captivated. They put on such an incredible show. The musicianship was phenomenal. The showmanship, equally great. It was just a wonderful, wonderful show. So caller number 25 gets almost the exact same experience. So Chicago, July 4th at the BMO Harris Pavilion. Have no fear. We have got tickets every single day this week. We will play a Chicago bumper song, and you are the correct caller. You win a pair of tickets, including on Friday when I am going to be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with deep sorrow for you anyway, because you're stuck with fill-ins like Dave Michaels, who, let's face it, is, no, I'm kidding. We love Dave. I think Sheriff Clark, did I hear that right, is going to be filling in. I didn't really take a look. Kittle, I think all of our buddies are going to be filling in, as I am taking a large group of listeners on the 2025 Dan O'Donnell Show cruise. We're flying into Amsterdam. We're touring the Norwegian fjords, which should be an incredible time. This is actually outside of 2 days I took off to go to the NFL draft and then to Las Vegas with some buddies for a long weekend, which then, of course, I had to immediately fly out to the White House because they were calling, wanting to do a radio row for the 100th day. I have not taken a single day off since I moved to afternoons. I wanted to get this show going. I wanted to get it rocking and rolling. So this will be, I'm not going to know what to do with myself. Well, sure, I'll be on a cruise and having a great time talking to listeners. And a lot of folks that have gone on these trips have really, and this is going to sound so corny, but it is true, have become friends. I mean, there are people who have been on, these trips going all the way back to, I think our first one was in 2018. And they have been on all but 1 or 2 of them. And they really are. I just genuinely enjoy hanging out. So we are sort of getting in the groove of basically doing 2 trips per year. You've got the cruise, which we inherited from the great Mark Belling. And then we call it the, I don't even know what we're calling it now. It's a shorter international trip where we focus on one great city. Like this year, for example, in November, we're going to Rome. In the springtime, we might be going to another fantastic city. We're still sort of in the final planning stages of that. And then next year, the 2026 Dan O'Donnell cruise, a lot of people have already been asking. There was a group of listeners who, there's 8 to 10 ladies who said, we want to do a trip together. Can you please tell us when the trip is going to be, where we're going? I said, I can tell you it's going to be in late July. Beyond that, I can't. What I can tell you is when you hear the destination, when you hear where it is we're going, it is going to be so, it's a dream destination for so many people. This cruise, it's a dream cruise for so many. I'm just going to tell you, it's going to sell out remarkably quickly. All right. Do we have a winner yet, producer Eric? Tom from Belgium. That would be the town of Belgium, the winner of Chicago tickets. I was going to say, you're taking a long time screening those calls, sir. Michaels would bang it. He could get to like 45 callers, and I swear, I was mesmerized watching him. He could get 45 callers, and I swear, 22 seconds. He'd be like, WISN, your caller 1, WISN, your caller 2, WISN. You seem to be taking a little while. So congratulations to Tom in Belgium, the winner of those Chicago tickets. Yes, Eric. Oh, you were okay. So, all right. He's providing a service. He's calling everybody, or he's telling everybody to try again tomorrow. We are giving tickets away all week. Got to take a break. Congratulations again, Tom. Another chance to win Chicago tickets tomorrow. You are listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show.
From the Lynch Buick GMC of West Bend Total Traffic Center.
Out in Waukesha, 164 southbound remains closed. Lonsdale Road to the Rock Freeway with crash cleanup. 94 eastbound tight approaching the Zoo interchange, clearing up after Hawley. Westbound just slow in pockets approaching the stadium. I'm Kevin Henry. That's your latest Total Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hurry into DQ for their sauced and tossed chicken strip baskets with flavor from the top, bottom, and everywhere in between. Try them today in Honey Barbecue or New Buffalo, only at DQ. Happy tastes good, only at participating Dairy Queen locations.
Picture taking your first steps into your brand new home. What do you see? Whether it's cooking meals in your 5-star kitchen or practicing downward dog in your sunroom, Valinsky Homes can handle it all. At Valinsky Homes, we know each lifestyle calls for unique home essentials. That's why we've been designing distinct and deliberate floor plans for over 60 years. Considering every last inch of space, we build new homes ready to adapt to your life's needs. Visit Valinsky.com today to find your right fit. Valinsky Homes, built for life.
Big news for drivers. Presets have landed on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with iHeartRadio. Access your favorite stations, podcasts, and playlists instantly right from your dashboard. Try the free iHeartRadio app on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and take those presets for a spin.
Home practice is about to begin. Your daughter's new tap shoes? Loud. Your son's new tuba? Louder. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft Greystone. So if you lose track of expenses buying some noise-canceling and sanity-saving headphones, we've got your back. You got this with $50 overdraft Greystone from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Water running back to your foundation due to settling concrete can lead to extremely expensive foundation repairs. Even mold and bacteria in your home.
MudTech, 262-337-0934.
Puts existing concrete back to grade, keeping water away from your foundation for a fraction of patio or driveway replacement cost.
MudTech, 262-337-0934.
For a free estimate today.
MudTech, 262-337-0934.
Permanently fixes asphalt with state-of-the-art technology. Uneven sagging stairs and walkways are easily evened out for less than you are guessing with M to the U to the D to the T to the E to the C to the H.
262-337-0934.
The cost of having Southeastern Wisconsin's premier concrete releveling and asphalt repair technicians at MudTech.
262-337-0934.
Restore your paved surfaces today is a fraction of the cost of replacement tomorrow. Call right now.
262-337-0934.
MudTechWorks.com.
Warshawski trial attorney Frank Crivello here. Folks,
I'm Victor Harding. Frank is selected Best Lawyers 2024 Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year.
More impressive is Victor Harding named Product Liability Attorney of the Year again for 2024.
It may sound boastful to mention these prestigious awards.
It's not boastful considering if you or someone you love is injured, you need to know 2 attorneys from the same personal injury firm being chosen by other lawyers and judges for these caliber of awards is very rare.
Heaven forbid you ever need an injury claim made on your behalf. If you do, the quality of your attorney and law firm will have a greater impact on the outcome than even the facts of your case.
Former clients, other lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, and even insurance adjusters,
often our adversaries,
refer their family and friends to Warshawski because they know Warshawski will achieve maximum compensation.
Injured? It is about the money.
Warshawski.com.
That's Warshawski.com.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
There used to be a day when the national news media prided itself on getting the story right. Those days are gone. Now, it's slanted stories, unnamed sources, and fake news. The goal no longer is to inform you. The goal is to indoctrinate you. Here at News Talk 1130 WISN, our show hosts will give you straightforward information and honest analysis. That is our commitment, and that is our daily mission. News Talk 1130 WISN. Real life, real news, real good. Show summaries, podcasts, political tidbits, and the hottest photo galleries in radio. All available to you whenever you demand them at newstalk1130.com.
Just enough time left on the Monday edition of the Dan O'Donnell Show to say thank you so much for listening as we are just about out of time. Have no fear, we're back tomorrow. Another chance to win a trip to the iHeartRadio Music Festival, another chance to win Chicago tickets, much more on the illegal immigration riots in LA. Could they spread to Milwaukee and other parts of Wisconsin? We will discuss right here on the Dan O'Donnell Show.